Working out what to eat in the days before a big endurance event can be daunting. Thankfully, there are established guidelines for how to carb load based on more than 100 years of scientific research. But this doesn't all happen in the lab. Actually getting the carbs on board is also an art form. Before you start filling up on pasta, most athletes will taper their training by reducing volume in the build-up to the race. To get an insight into the ideal approach to tapering, I'm meeting Mario Frioli, a 2:27 marathon runner himself and coach who's worked with Olympians and Boston qualifiers. So Mario, you've done 15 marathons, you've coached Olympians, Boston qualifiers. Tell me about the taper before race day.
Well, I mean, in the last 10 to 14 days before the race, there's really not a whole lot to gain, but you also don't want to do things very differently from what you've been doing in the 10 to 12 weeks prior. So you're really going to bring the volume and the density of your training down, but you're going to try to maintain the rhythm of your week. So you're still doing workouts. They're just not as bulky as they were in the 10 to 12 weeks prior.
And where does the carb load fit in?
Really the last 48 hours before the race. So, you're still just jogging around. You're not really doing too much for training, but with that, you are increasing your carbohydrate intake. So you are really able to restock your glycogen stores before race day.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mario. I'll dial in Dr. Lindsay Hunt to take a dive into the science of carb loading. Oi, Linzo.
Right, it's time for the science of carb loading.
Carbohydrates are the main source of fuel used by your body during a marathon. By eating carb-rich foods in the build-up, you're ensuring that you have plenty of fuel in the tank to start your 26.2-mile journey. The average person can store about 500 grams of glucose as glycogen in your skeletal muscles and around 100 grams in your liver. These stores generally last for about 90 minutes before they're tapped out, so you'll also need to fuel during a marathon to perform at your best. Research shows that carb loading effectively prolongs your endurance capacity by about 20%. For your carb load, aim for 8 to 12 grams of carb per kilo of body weight each day in the 48 hours leading into your race. Don't be surprised if you see a 2 to 3% increase in your body weight on race day, as carbs pull water into your cells, and this weight gain is actually a good sign that you're topped up. The challenge is always eating enough, as 8 to 12 grams per kilo is a hell of a lot of food.
Thanks, Linzo. Now it's time to put the science of carb loading into practice with a man who's preparing to run the California International Marathon in just a few days' time. So how much carb you want to eat will depend on how much you weigh without any clothes on. Based on Hugo's weight of 75 kilograms, he's going to be aiming to eat between 600 and 900 grams of carb each day for the next 2 days before his race.
Oh Jesus, that's a lot of rice. Guess I have to go shopping now.
The art of hitting your carb load numbers requires some forward planning and some meal prep. Check out what's available at local shops so you can get what you need to hit your numbers. You're ideally looking for foods that are carb rich whilst being low in fibre and fat to reduce the risk of GI issues. So foods like pasta and rice are often popular main meal choices, supplemented with snacks of sports nutrition and sweets because they're a great source of concentrated carbs without any additional fat, fibre or protein. Right, Hugo, your race is on Sunday, so this is what you're going to need to eat for breakfast tomorrow and Saturday. This will be lunch, and this, my friend, is dinner. And don't forget you're going to need plenty of snacks as well. Before you get stuck into this lot, you'd better get down to the expo to pick up your race pack. And while you're there, you can get some last minute advice from a good friend of ours. Trust me, he's been there before, got a few CIM t-shirts and even a few medals.
CJ, nice to see you.
Yes, how's it going?
So I've just learned how many carbs I need pre-marathon. So do you have any tips on how to carb load?
Yeah, just try to get some carbs with every meal. So, I'll try to wake up, have oatmeal. Sometimes I'll carry around, granola with me if I'm traveling. Just trying to get rice as much as I can because I'm trying to get a lot of carbs but little fiber because I don't want to be in the bathroom all day. But yes, maybe some chews, you know, some carb mixed drinks. But yeah, just finding every meal when you're eating and drinking.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. Good luck.
While Hugo was meeting up with CJ, I was letting some very special guests into our house. We figured, who better to help us with the art of the carb load than 3 guys who work for the 3 Michelin-starred restaurant, 11 Madison Park. The guys are also running CIM this weekend, and they've kindly offered to prep the Last Supper before race day.
Matthias, so cooking for athletes is a different challenge to the one you have every day at work.
I mean, I feel pressure.
So we were interested in hitting some macro numbers with carbohydrates because it's for carb loading.
I mean, like the 3 main focus are always lean protein, complex carbs, and you know, healthy fats. So like olive oil, maybe a little bit of butter and sweet potato, just because. But extra virgin olive oil, rice, chicken breast, so no legs, which is like the leanest part of the chicken, and we try to add some flavor to it. So yeah,
Perfect.
exactly, like low fiber food, super important. Otherwise, stomach is gonna be upset.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds amazing, and it's making me feel hungry just talking about it. So I can't wait to get some food on the table.
Thank you.
I've invited everyone to a dinner party before tomorrow's race to see how the EMP guys have turned the science of carb loading into an art form. I hope they all got the memo about the dress code. Huge thanks to Mario, CJ, Lindsay and the 11 Madison Park team for helping Hugo nail the science and art of carb loading. With the hard part of the carb load done, it's time for an early night before the small matter of running 26.2 miles tomorrow.
So who's going to wash all the dishes?